Hi guys, it's Bryant Dillon here at Long Beach Comic Con 2015, and once again I'm joined by one of my favorite artists, Georges Jeanty. How you doing, Georges?
Hey, how you doing, Brian?
Doing well as always. Good to talk to you as usual.
Always a pleasure.
You've moved on from the Whedonverse for a little while now, and I'd love to hear a little bit about your experiences with DC Comics and what that's been like.
Yeah, I thought I might take a little break, but it was a moving on with the intention of always coming back.
Okay.
So I did. I went over and did. I actually got a Wonder Woman gig for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
And that deadline was so open, though, I actually didn't finish it until I did the Batwoman gig.
Okay.
And I did a few issues, 7 or 8 issues of Batwoman, and then went over to the Wonder Woman stuff. So I think, yeah, they were keeping me in mind regardless of my association with Buffy. They were wanting me to do strong female characters.
I see.
It was very similar, even though I wasn't with the Whedonverse.
Now, it's not a first for you. You've clearly done a number of superhero comics before, but what's the sort of difference between going from something that I hesitate to say more reality-based, but what's vampires or spaceships, versus superheroes and metahumans?
I'm a big fan of whatever the character is, what the strengths of that character was. And I think with Batwoman, obviously in Gotham City, and there's the Batman overtone and all that. So I really tried to make the strength of that particular book be her environment.
Okay.
She is who she is and has to do what she does. And I always thought the city never played as much of a role. So I was very particular with the architecture and backgrounds. I got a lot of Anton Furst, who I'm sure did the first Batman movie. A lot of those architectural details I really tried to incorporate in the Batman or Batwoman series, only to give her, I don't know, maybe more of a distinction, because I wasn't going to reinvent the character.
Sure,
course,
yeah.
But I thought I could make it a little more distinctive if I incorporated the city a little more than what I'd been seeing in the other books.
Is that something that you think is sort of a trait of like the Bat books, that the city is sort of a character?
I think it is, because whenever you read Batman, if that's the pinnacle and that's the starting point and we go from there, he's always talking about his city,
right?
My Gotham, or it's always an issue, and it's almost in so much as Serenity is part of the cast of Firefly, Gotham is part of the cast of Batman or the Bat family.
Right. Well, speaking of Serenity, there's been some exciting announcements lately.
Yes.
Joss at Comic-Con went ahead and spilled the beans. There's going to be a new Serenity miniseries. The last one, Leaves on the Wind, was just absolutely fantastic. Continued from the Serenity movie. It was like our first official continuation onto like what happened with those characters afterwards.
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
And I know there's probably not much you can say because there hasn't been a lot released. It's a while down the road. But what can you tell us about the upcoming Serenity comic?
Well, it was almost one of those things. Everybody was sort of waiting around, making sure that Joss was okay with the script and that there even was going to be, because, of course, as you might know, he's very particular about Serenity, and he's not interested in having it be an ongoing, but he is okay with it having limited series, whether it be 2 issues, 6 issues, maybe a free comic book day, 8-pager, or something like that. He was cool with. So everyone at Dark Horse was kind of waiting to say, well, all right, is it cool? Can we do this? Are we going to get it into production? And as soon as he was at San Diego and made that announcement, everything sort of pushed on through a lot quicker. So
are you already drawing some Serenity pages?
Yeah, I did the first cover, and I've got the first 2 scripts. That's how ahead all of this was. As soon as it was okayed, I got everything almost. And I've laid out the whole first issue, so it's definitely going. Unfortunately, probably won't see the light of day until next year, summer sometime.
No problem. Good work takes a little while.
Yes.
One question I have about that is, was it easy to jump back into those characters in the ship and everything, or was it a difficult transition back?
I wouldn't say so much easy. It reminded me how hard it was doing it the first time.
I remember you telling me about that, especially the ship.
Yeah,
yes.
the ship, and really, and I realized too, it's all these characters, because everybody is so distinctive. You have to give everybody their look.
Yeah.
I can play with Kaylee's costume. I can, move Simon into a vest or a T-neck or something. But they all have a very particular look. Somebody like Mal is easy because essentially he's wearing a superhero costume whenever he goes out. And Jane, might have a different shirt or something. Probably the most different and the most thing I had freedom with is Inara. now that she's no longer part of the companion.
Right.
She is part of the crew, and I'm trying to make her more, I don't know, cowboy demure.
Okay.
You know,
She's
really
transitioning a little bit.
She's transitioning almost to the extent I actually drew her on the cover with a gun. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
wondering if that is too far, or can I get approval for that? So we're still sort of
Working
going
on
back and forth. Because, yeah, I don't think her passivity would allow it, but there was an episode with, what's her name, that she actually had a gun.
Yes, that is true. With
what's
the
her name?
saffron, yeah. That is true.
So
she's not a
against
lightweight.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly, she's not against it, but in changing, would that be part of her character?
Sure.
I know, and everybody, obviously, in the movie, she had a bow and arrow that they CG'd out, which I
Yes.
actually thought about doing, but I'm wondering the practicality of her then walking around with a bow
That's
and arrow
true.
and stuff. So I didn't know if it would be practical to do
Sure,
that.
sure. Well, that's just an interesting thing to see, to know that there's going to be some shift in the character from that perspective.
Yes.
So.
What I'm hoping to do, because the clothing is very important to me, and a lot of the sleeves on the wind, I kept them in the TV series a lot. This time out, I'm having them introduced in the movie clothing.
Okay.
And sort of transitioning into maybe more original costumes.
Very cool.
Because while Mal is always going to be the same, he did have different color shirts, and maybe in the movie or in the TV show, his pants had a stripe, and maybe in the movie they didn't, and the jacket will always stay the same, I think. I thought that was an important thing.
Yeah, it's kind of
because it was
iconic,
different
yeah.
in the movie.
Oh, was it?
Than it was
wow.
in the TV show. Yeah, I'm very good friends with the costume designer, Shauna.
Yes.
From the TV show, not the movie. So she's always giving me some really wonderful insights.
Oh, that's awesome.
On their character. Because, of course, like you guys would know, costumes make the character. Like what
Very
you
much.
wear represents you, you know, in a very subtle way, whether or not you're trying to make that statement.
And you specifically had that strength, I think, brought to the Buffy series. It was such a
That was
unique
another thing, yeah.
you know?
I would have loved, because everyone was saying, well, why didn't she have a costume? And now that she's in a comic, well, you know, she's a superhero. Really? Why didn't she have a costume? You know, and realistically, she wouldn't,
No.
because she'd get up every day and either look at the costume and say, God, this smells, I'm not going to wear it, or, you know, something else will catch your eye and
Right,
go,
exactly.
ooh, shiny, yeah, I want that. So it was really hard to
You did a
put
great
her
job with that. I remember so many fans commenting on the realistic the dressings of all the characters and the way they changed.
Towards the end of season 9, I don't know if anybody ever picked up on it, but towards the end of season 9, I actually made her more like Blade from Tomb of Dracula, and because she has this harness,
Yeah, I remember
of
the
wooden spikes, and that's what Blade has in Tomb of Dracula.
I didn't even realize that. That is perfect.
I was trying to
Nice
see if I
little
can
Easter
put this
egg
in
there.
So yeah.
Excellent. And are you open to potentially coming back if they continue some Buffy beyond season 10?
I mean, I have no say on that, but I can say I miss my girl. I would love to come back and hang out with her a little bit more. Sure.
Excellent. Well, let's wrap this up, but I want to let people know that you are going to be in the Land Down Under soon, right?
I am next week, in a couple of weekends. I will be in Brisbane next week and Sydney the week afterwards. So that pretty much ends my world tour. Those of you still waiting to see me perform, that probably will be your last chance until the next year.
And you've got some Serenity sketchbooks and other items that people can get their hands on?
Yes, just this year I started a Serenity sketchbook on Leaves on the Wind. I've got shirts and I've got new prints. So if you see me, definitely ask or come to the website.
Excellent. Well, Georges, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you, Brian.
And everyone, definitely, if you're going to be in Australia, stop by and see Georges there. If not, I'm sure you can find him online. Where are you at?
Online, www.cabalounge.com.
Excellent. And once again, this has been Bryant with Fanboy Comics. You can find our interviews at fanboycomics.net.